So day 3 of Baltimore Ravens training camp practice is in the books. So we got our top highlights from the last few days. We got rookie first-round safety Malaki Starks making plays. He and Kyle Hamilton both addressed the media today. We have our top takeaways from that press conference. Nate Wiggins is turning heads, stealing the show of today's practice. The kicker battle is continuing to heat up, plus a top-named free agent defensive tackle just became available, and could the Ravens be hopping on this opportunity? We have all that and more to break down in today's episode. So welcome into another episode of Ravens Reports. It's your guy Noah here with For the Flock. As always, bringing you guys our top 5 news reports and storylines coming out of our Baltimore Ravens today. So let's start off with a couple of highlights. First of all, Lamar Jackson today was 7 for 10 unofficially in 11 on 11 and 7 for 8 and 7 on 7. It's reported he was more efficient today with a lot of intermediate and short passes because the defense was not allowing anything downfield. Now, this is what's insane. I want you guys to think about this. Lamar Jackson will be practicing week in and week out all summer against a top 3 secondary in the NFL. In my opinion, I think this is the best secondary in the NFL with Kyle Hamilton, first-round pick, Malaki Starks, first-round pick, Nate Wiggins, Jair Alexander, Marlon Humphrey. All these guys are first-round picks, an absolutely loaded secondary with guys in the prime of their career, paired up with an all-pro linebacker, a nasty front that we're going to talk about here in a little bit. So Lamar Jackson, he has his hands full. In my opinion, practicing against his top secondary all summer and all throughout the season is going to make it that much easier for him on Sundays. But Lamar Jackson, you can see him connecting with Zay Flowers, as usual. Zay Flowers, the first ever homegrown Pro Bowl wide receiver, a drafted Ravens wide receiver in the first round to go over 1,000 yards last year. I think he's going to get in the end zone more and he have even more production. It's looking like he's improving his route running. He's putting a lot of work in the offseason, working with Lamar Jackson, private workouts, as well as some personal trainers, some individual wide receiver coaches. Now, check this out. We also got Lamar connecting with Isaiah Likely. Isaiah Likely is just a dog. Both of the Zays. We got Lil Zay and Big Zay. These guys are going to be big weapons for Lamar in this Ravens offense for years to come. I'm really excited to see these two, going at it. It's paired up with, we could go on and on about the weapons, but then you can't forget about guys like Bateman and Mark Andrews and DeAndre Hopkins. And, John Harbaugh talked about Keaton Mitchell today, about how he can really catch passes and run routes and get out there, and how they can use him in that manner as a weapon as well. But man, weapons on weapons. I love that Lamar is going against the top secondary because it's just going to be that much easier when he goes against lesser secondaries on Sundays. And number 2, Malaki Starks, continuing to turn heads, all right? So here's the report that came out. Watching Malaki Starks is like watching a student of the game. He surveys the offense, keeping everything in front of him. Then when he diagnoses the play, he explodes to the ball, whether in run support. And it's reported that, as offseason has progressed, and as day 3 of training camp now, he's starting to get more comfortable where he's willing to explode and break on plays and show his athleticism and his instincts now that he's really getting a grip on this defense. He explodes the ball, whether in run support, recognizing screens, or breaking on a ball to make a play. On Thursday, Starks did all these things, including an impressive pass deflection to break up a pass for Charlie Kohler. Later in practice, he picked off Lamar Jackson on a post corner route, an ill-advised pass from the outside looking in. Well, if you're picking off Lamar Jackson, who only had, by the way, 4 interceptions in the entire season last year and 41 passing touchdowns, a 2-time MVP, an All-Pro, future Hall of Famer, that's good. That's good news for you if you're doing that as a rookie, only being here for a few months. The coaches and teammates around Malaki are raving about him. At number 3, another top-tier defensive back that is really starting to turn some heads is second-year, first-round pick, cornerback Nate Wiggins. He stole the show today. He was the MVP of today's practice. On back-to-back plays, Nate Wiggins blew up a wide receiver screen and then a sweep play. He then had 2 pass breakups in a matchup with Rashad Bateman later in practice and punctuated one of them with the Jair Alexander seatbelt strap them up celebration. Now, Kyle Hamilton today said, we're going to talk about what he had to say about Nate Wiggins, but he also had to say that Jair Alexander brings more swagger to the secondary that they needed. I love that.
Yeah, for sure. I think we probably needed some of that. Guys can be a little eccentric at times, but I'm more even keel, so I need to have that been brought out of me a little bit, and Jair does that for us. And everybody follows his lead when it comes to the energy and stuff, and he's only been here 3 practice days, but everybody can feel the difference with him here. So thanks to everybody upstairs for getting him here, and just glad he's on our team now.
It's funny because yesterday Lamar Jackson threw a beautiful 60-yard bomb touchdown to Rashad Bateman, past Nate Wiggins, actually. And Nate Wiggins, he's got a short memory. If he gets beat, he doesn't get down on himself. He's very confident. He's got that, line it up mentality. Let's go for the next one. And today, gets 2 pass breakups on Bateman. So he got the best of Rashad Bateman today after getting beat big yesterday. Here's what Kyle Hamilton had to say on the second-year defensive back.
Same thing I thought Nate since he got here. I think he's going to be one of the best in the league, and I'm kind of throwing that out a lot today. But I truly believe that. With Malaki and Nate, Nate he's one of those guys that's not afraid to line up against whoever, his nameless, faceless opponent, and just line it up and let's run it. Man, zone, whatever it may be. And today especially, he's competing at a high level. He's done that for the past 3 days, and super excited to see what he does in year 2, and I think he's probably going to have one of the bigger jumps from last year to this year than anybody on the team.
So Kyle thinks that he's going to make the biggest jump for as far as first to second year players. That's good news. Having Jair and Nate Wiggins as your starters on the outside, with Marlon Humphrey on the inside, Kyle Hamilton a strong safety, Malaki Starks a free safety, or vice versa. Then you got hungry dogs trying to get in the lineup like TJ Tampa and Chidobe. You also got the young guys from last year trying to get in that lineup with Bo Braid and Sanusi Kane. Man, this secondary is not only top-tier talent, but it's deep. It's got some guys behind there, biting at the bit to try to get on the field, and that's just going to breed excellence and more competition. And then you got the fact that you got that new secondary coach back there with Chuck Pagano, who has NFL playoff head coach experience, but now is coaching a secondary because he just loves football and wanted to be around the guys. Sign me up for this, man. Sign me up for this secondary. You got to see it on Sundays. But I would be surprised if this wasn't a top 3 secondary, if not the best, no-fly zone in the NFL. That's the type of talent they have in this room. But at number 4, I want to talk about an under-the-radar, low competition here. It's not really under the radar, but it's not the sexiest position battle, right? But it is getting Ravens fans kind of excited. I'm excited to see it, man. I'm all here for the kicker battle, all right? John Hoyland yesterday took all the, starting reps during the drills. And then today, Tyler Loop took all the starting reps during the drills. So, John Hoyland, the undrafted kicker, who a lot of people are more high on than Tyler Loop, who was drafted, by the way. He was 9 for 9 yesterday, but Loop, he rattled back today. He said, no. You go 9 for 9, I'm a 1-up. You can go 10 for 10. So he goes 10 for 10 today. And not only is he drilling the short stuff, but he had a long of a 63-yard field goal where head coach John Harbaugh came up and gave him a hot 5 after that one. He had plenty of room to spare on that 63-yarder. So dude's got a leg. He's got a cannon for a leg. At number 5, Cal Van Noy just said that Justin Madubuike and Travis Jones are side by side, and get some other opinions. But Travis Jones was dominant in the beginning of the season last year. I mean, really a handful for offensive linemen to handle. And then he battled not 100% all throughout the year. He would not practice all throughout the week to give the ankle rest. Then he'd go out there and re-aggravate it on Sunday, and then not practice all again, and then do it again. He just battled throughout the year with that ankle injury, and he would try to wrap it up well. But that meant that Nnamdi Madubuike got a lot of doubles because Travis Jones wasn't at his best. So Madubuike wanted to put on some more weight to deal with those doubles, so he put on a little bit of muscle, a little bit of weight in the offseason. But I'm excited for that duo to be fully healthy this year. Now, you also got some depth there, but we're going to talk about a guy that's available. The guy that's available is Christian Wilkins. He's dealing with a foot injury. I don't know how severe it is, but If he could contribute this year, can you imagine a defensive front with Christian Wilkins, Nnamdi Madubuike, and Travis Jones, with Owe, Mike Green, Van Noy, and them boys flying off the edge? Wow. That could be like a top 5 front in the NFL. And you got the linebackers behind them cleaning stuff up. You know what I'm saying? So, if this is possible, I don't know about, Christian Wilkins' character. I don't know. There was some partly off the field stuff and drama going on with the Raiders. I don't know much about it, so I'm not going to talk about it. But that would be crazy. The Ravens' depth behind Madubuike and Jones is decent. They have Aeneas Peebles, who's a pass rush, sub-tech rusher specialist. He's not going to be holding up against, double teams at like 1 tech or 3 tech. Like, I think he's going to be more of a interior pass rusher on passing downs, maybe get in there at some 5 tech or something on earlier downs. We'll see what Peebles' role is. But then we also have Broderick Washington, who is a solid depth piece. John Jenkins, who's a big boy, very big boy. And he's going to be that, backup nose tackle run stuffer. And he's older. He's a vet. So depth there is pretty solid. However, if we were to have an injury to Madubuike or Jones, I would get a little nervous, especially when it comes to run defense. I don't want to see us have this top elite secondary and then just have teams run the ball on us over and over again and not get to actually use that secondary and, pin our ears back on 3rd down and put the offense in those long, 3rd and long situations. Got to be able to stop the run consistently and have multiple guys that can do it. Christian Wilkins, yes. Like, if you're asking me if I would do it, yes. I would do void years. I would go all in. Like, I think the Ravens are already going all in. You look at who they signed and the roster they have and what they have in front of them, the coaching staff. Like, go all in, man. Why not? Let's just go for the ring this year. You've been close the last 3 years. You've been in the AFC Championship, then the divisional round. You got the number 1 seed. Just go all in, baby. So also, I just want to let you guys know how close this is. We are about 14 days away-ish, about 14-ish days away from our first preseason action, where we get to see the rookies and some of these guys out on the field in live game action. Remember last year we got to see Nate Wiggins like flashing in preseason, and a couple years before that, Isaiah Likely going off in preseason. Yeah, I'm excited about this season. It's going to be very fun, very special. Ravens have actually the highest odds right now to win the Super Bowl, according to the bets maker. So we're in for a fun season. Everyone knows how talented this team is, how good Lamar is, how good the coaching staff is. They're contenders year in and year out. They got to get over the hump. But eventually, for teams of this caliber, it usually happens, man. So let me know all of your thoughts in the comments section below. Smash the like button if you got any value out of today's content. I love you guys. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next video.
When he wasn't looking, he ran me over.